99.9 Punk World Radio FM. This one is from the east all the way to the west coast. We have No Solution. They hail from Orange County, California, right here live on 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. No Solution. How are you five guys doing tonight all the way out there in sunny California?
Good.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty hot down here in Canada as well. We're currently dealing with our hot summer days, but you know, looking at pine trees and dealing with the hot weather just doesn't feel the same as dealing with the hot weather and looking at palm trees. So I'm definitely jealous you guys got them beautiful palm trees out there.
Oh yeah, the beach is right around the corner.
Well, I will definitely say I am definitely a jealous interviewer just hearing that, because yeah, I would love to be at a beach right now. But I know you guys are busy individuals, so I don't want to take you away from your evening too long, but I got to take you back to 30 plus years where all this started. No Solution started in Kern County, California. But I was wondering, what is the story behind No Solution? And of course, how did all five of you guys meet to form such an iconic punk rock band? Because 30 years in the music industry is one thing, but 30 years as a band is another as well.
Yeah, so, a long time ago, Brian might say best, because he and I are the original founding members.
Yeah, we all of us here grew up playing in bands together, and with No Solution, we decided in '95 to move down to Orange County, and we hit it hard for about 10 years, and then we took a break and came back, and here's the new lineup with the crew again.
Kids and family, everybody slows you down a little bit, and then when everybody grows up and the kids will start moving away, guitars get dusted off again, and songs get written, and next thing you know, you're out playing shows in LA again and everywhere else.
Except for the one kid.
Yeah.
We got a youngster. I'm the baby of the band. Yeah.
He's the energy of the band to keep those guys going.
Keep it going. I keep the rhythm going.
You always need the one youngster to actually just inspire you to keep going. It helps bring your guys' youth back a little bit.
Yeah. I think just playing, period. We've all been in different bands and have taken breaks, and I think just getting back together, especially everybody here being family and friends, it's just the energy's there, the creativity's there, and everybody is bringing a piece to the table. It's starting, the fire's just reigniting hard.
And the one question I have to ask, I know this is a cliche kind of question, but what is the story behind the band name, No Solution? Because I have to say, it's so simple, but yet it's so fitting for you guys as well. Like, what is the story actually behind No Solution?
It's real simple. We couldn't think of a name, and I said there's no solution. And we're like, there it is.
Next thing you know, they're making stickers.
Yeah. Put them all over.
Put them on shirts.
Hey, but you know what? At least you guys came up with something. I mean, you guys say you couldn't come up with anything, but you did, you know? Yeah. It works out. But also, taking things to January of 1996, your very first EP was released, and it was recorded at For the Record Studios by Jim Monroe. Looking back to the mid-1990s, can you tell us a bit more about working alongside Jim on this particular project? Because he did a phenomenal job on this project, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Jim's a badass. He did all kinds of people. The Cadillac Tramps, who else?
Yeah, he worked with Cisco Poison, Joe Wood from T.S. Wells' old band, and then Joyride, Steve Soderman from Adolescent's old band. We liked all the bands that Dr. Dream. Jim Monroe was Dr. Dream's engineer for a long time. We were a big fan of Dr. Dream band, so we kind of followed that route. He's a great producer.
I definitely agree. He is a phenomenal producer. He has done a lot of amazing things. And this project as well, like in 1996, next year is going to be 30 years to be exact since that album was released. Do you guys have plans to do a 30th anniversary edition of this particular record, or are you just going to leave this record in the past?
Good idea. Actually, I didn't think about that either. I like that idea.
The answer was no. There was no idea. Yeah, there was no plan to do anything. But something could be in the works real fast.
Because I would say there definitely is time to slap that on some vinyl, because I mean that That was a killer record, and just hearing that on wax would be absolutely gnarly.
Yeah, there is another one. There is a vinyl one too, somewhere still, right?
The 7 Miles one?
Yeah, there's an album called 7 Miles that there was only a handful of those ever made, but they were all vinyl.
There's a prize for anybody that goes out and finds it.
Yeah.
Brings it back to the table.
I do know you can probably find that on Discogs, but I do know if it's that rare, people price some of those records at a ridiculous amount of money, to the point like it's almost like two months of rent almost. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah, Brian found one on eBay.
For some reason, a guy over in Hungary's got copies of all the old records. I don't know how he got them, but that's great.
There was an old Gob record that I was trying to track down, and I'm telling you, I had to literally think to myself, do I want to buy this record, or do I want to like lose like 3 months of rent? And I realized if I lose 3 months of rent, I'll have nowhere to plug the damn record player into. So obviously, I chose rent. But also as well, January 2005. I know you guys released so many amazing projects, but January 2005, you guys actually released my favorite No Solution project, and that is actually an album titled Future Generations that was dropped on Class War Records. Looking back 20 years, can you tell us a bit more and the story and inspiration behind this phenomenal project?
The Class War, that was I don't know if you're familiar with a band called Bone Crusher.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
My other guitarist that was in the band, his dad was the guitarist for Bone Crusher, and we started doing little tours with them. And they had their own record label named Class War Records, and they kind of took us under their wing for a while.
Are you guys still currently with Class War Records, or is that just something that you guys did a few records with?
Just something we're not currently with them right now.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the process like of just putting that record together? Because I got to say, from front to back, like that album was absolutely stellar.
Well, we worked with a guy, Scott Flammer, another guy that we used in the studio. I don't know if you're familiar with Big Drill Car. Mark Arnold, he was an engineer that did some stuff for us. He had an assistant. He was in Canada. He was actually living in Canada at the time. And so Scott, his assistant, decided to take over the studio, and that's where we recorded that. We spent a couple weekends over there, and I think we did it all analog, and we tried to keep it old school sounding. And there was a lot of hours in that thing. There's still a lot of mistakes on it, but, you always find those.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mark was actually a part of Capitol Records as well.
Yeah, that was Mark Shalecki.
And since this album was actually, mastered by Mark Shalecki, were there any talks with you guys to actually join Capitol Records?
No, we were. It was funny. We went there for the weekend, and he gave us a little tour of the place. He was able to put the little small Capitol Records logo on it just to be funny. So you see it on there.
Was there any advice that he actually gave you during that walk? Because I do know when you actually get the opportunity to tour, places like that, they kind of give you a little bit of insight and a little bit of advice. Like, did he give you any advice on what to do and what not to do when actually searching for a record deal?
Yeah, to be honest, we actually really never even talked about it. It was kind of, we met up on a Sunday, and it was kind of rushed on time. He was doing us a favor to mix it for us. Unfortunately, the bass was kind of, it had some issues with it, so he tried to fix it as best he could through the machines.
Well, I will actually say he did a phenomenal job on it. One of my favorite songs on that record is actually Bombs Away.
Yep.
That seems to be not everybody's super favorite, or it's one of my favorites. It's one of all of our favorites, yeah. But it's the one that always constantly comes up, like, what do we open with or what do we end with? And Bombs Away gets brought into the conversation a lot. It's kind of it's the banger of the lineup.
Especially live. It brings a lot of energy.
And speaking of, just live performances and opening up, June 12th of this year, you guys had the opportunity to share the stage with iconic punk band Agent Orange. I was wondering if you could actually just tell us a bit more about that experience And of course, did you guys get the opportunity to kick it with Orange before or after your guys' performance?
Actually, it's been delayed. It's postponed. We're still playing with them. It'll be in October.
I got to say, I definitely now that I know it's postponed, it makes me actually want to book some flights and head on down to California because No Solution Agent Orange would be absolutely killer.
Well, we'll put you up for free and feed you.
You had me at food. I mean, look at me. You can bribe me with a drumstick, and I'm just there. You know.
Well, if you come down, you got backstage and a place to stay.
But no, it definitely is going to be an amazing experience. I know you guys have obviously had the opportunity to open up for so many amazing bands, but is there's another band actually on your guys' resume?
Is there one? Or I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
What was the band? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it wasn't a question. I was just pretty much saying like you guys had the opportunity to open up for so many bands, so it's definitely cool you guys get another one for your resume.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some good shows that are coming up. Where nothing's set in stone yet, so I'm not going to start throwing out any names. But there's some ones on paper that we're waiting to hear the go ahead on those that are going to be Agent Orange caliber plus, and then see if those pan out. We hope they do, but to get back into it, slow rolling at first, just because you have to go out and you have to book all your own shows, and without a manager or a label doing all the work for you, it's all of us on the phone grinding all the time and talking to everybody. But there's some really good stuff in the works.
And we also have a fan question here from Spike Bronson. He actually wants to know, out of all the bands you guys open for, is there one band that you would love to share the stage with that you haven't already?
It's probably that's a long list.
Yeah.
I would probably say for my band it would be Social D or Cadillac Tramps or Cadillac Hearse.
Of course, the Bad Religion and those kind of bands, Adolescents.
Oh, Adolescent.
Yeah, I'd take any one of those guys said.
TSOL.
I could only imagine how gnarly the mosh pit would be at a Bad Religion and No Solution concert. People are going to get a little roughed up, but it is what it is. That's punk rock.
We've shared the stage in the past with like Blink, but that was before they were playing stadiums. So it's not really our kind of punk rock, but I wouldn't mind playing a stadium with Blink. Wouldn't complain.
And when you guys got the opportunity to share the stage with Blink-182, obviously I'm guessing this is during the Scott Rayner era, probably Dude Ranch or Buddha. But with that being said, what was it like actually opening for them? Did you get a chance to kind of meet a then young Tom, Mark, or even Scott?
Funny about that.
Mark grew up here in the town, so I knew Mark when I was a kid. He was friends with my sister.
Yeah, my wife was dating him before I did, so she teased me about it. When we played with him at Blake, I came up to tell him I think you guys are on your way because I'd heard him on the radio, and he looked at me, he's like, you guys are a lot harder than us.
Now we had a band, 3-piece, pretty thrashy punk band, and we were not very good at all. But here in Ridgecrest, we had a local radio or TV station that used to play like the Chamber of Commerce meetings and stuff, and we did a show with them up at a venue here in town, and they aired it on TV, and we thought that was his old band of all things, Mark's band, and they aired it on Channel 3 here in Ridgecrest, and we thought it was the coolest thing ever, and then they took off, and then Ryan and Joe, they formed another band, and they were doing shows with Mark and his band with Blink all the time, and where they were just Blink before 182 because there was a whole thing about that.
Yeah, that band made them change their names.
He wanted to go down to San Diego and do the CD release party for their Cheshire Cat, and gave us a stack of old tapes for their first album, demo tapes, to bring back into town. And we got rid of all of them, but now if you could find one of those damn tapes, those things are fucking worth a fortune.
Yeah. I think if you find a cat record with the red eyes, it's even worth even more as well if it has red eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I would love to get my hands on a Uranus record. But no, what's your guys' take actually on Scott Ranner actually becoming a cop? Because I got to say that was very surprising when I actually saw that. I had to do a double take there for a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't know you.
He seemed like a nice guy. He was reading books when we played with him Blink, just real mellow on the side stage.
Gotta pay rent.
that is true. And obviously, a cop's going to keep you busy.
You hear about a lot of musicians out there that played with a band and ended up taking off and doing something different. And then after they left, the band just blows up and goes multi-platinum. And then you go back to the old guy and you're like, what were you thinking? The guy's like, I'm trying to fucking pay my rent and pay my car payment, man. I didn't know they were going to do that.
And also as well, we have a question from Gwen. She says, hi, y'all. Keep up the good work. Question for each and every one of you. What is the worst nightmare that could happen on stage?
Oh, man, that's a long list too.
Well, I can tell you that as a drummer, dropping a stick is, trying to recover from that. I think I'm pretty quick with it. Thank you for the support, Ryan. I think I'm pretty quick with it, but it's extremely noticeable if the rhythm section stops for some reason. So that's my answer. Dropping a stick, or sometimes they just go flying.
Yeah, my sound problems getting in. Short time on stage and sound problems getting in, and then delays and standing and waiting and technical issues. Just straps not working on your guitar. It's all those little things on stage where you practice and you program and you coordinate and you rehearse and you have everything set to do a certain way, and then you go out there and everything shits the fucking bed. Next thing you know, you're looking around and you're starting to tingle and your face gets hot and the crowd's looking at you like you're fucking stupid. But then when you recover and everything takes off, that's the payoff. But
I think from my perspective, these guys, when we first came out, I was coming out of the gate way too heavy, blowing my voice out quick. I had to learn how to tone it back a little bit.
Yeah, how to repace yourself and know that you're up there for 45 minutes and not do the damage in 5 and then spend the next 40 struggling.
For me, it hasn't happened, knock on wood, but it's happened in practice where a song I played for 20 years is suddenly not in my head anymore. And I don't know what chord it starts with or anything. I'm terrified that'll happen when there's an actual show going.
That happens.
Yeah.
For me, I'm the bougie ones. I play through an effects loop in my amp, so some of those the stages are dark when you're trying to wire up your head, and you got your send and return mix, and you go to play and nothing's coming out. They're like, uh-oh.
It always comes down to one plug or one button.
It's me, basically.
Hey, nobody's blaming anybody here.
It's how you recover from it. People will remember the good parts about it. If you finish strong, people won't remember. It's just water under the bridge.
Yeah, it's what you do on stage. How do you recover? Recovering's huge. Thanks, Gwen.
I definitely, yes, thanks, Gwen. I have to say, first and foremost, what is next for No Solution? Because I do know you guys have the show that's rescheduled from June to October with Agent Orange. But do you guys have any more shows, any new music, anything else you guys do want to touch on, talk about, or promote? What was still got you here live on 99.9 FM here tonight?
I think we have like 4 or 5 new ones. We're in the process right now writing 3 or 4 new ones. We're working on trying to get another record out. So on our downtime of no shows, we're working on just pre-production of new songs. And we do have some in shows in the making. We're just waiting on a couple guys. I got a buddy that's coming back from a tour, and he's going to put some shows together. So we're waiting for some phone calls right now. We're kind of in that little hiatus right now.
Yeah, we've got a Long Beach show coming up. We've got a hopefully a show at the Doll Hut. We're waiting for final notice on that. That famous Doll Hut down in Anaheim. Couple things in the works. I didn't want to throw out any names yet, just because nothing's set in stone. But some good, yeah. Keep an eye on the social media, because there's going to be some really good SoCal shows coming up.
And speaking of social media, guys, before how do we go about following you guys across all social media platforms? So I do know this is a punk rock radio station. So if people that are watching, if you haven't already followed No Solution, you better hurry up and get that done, because you need to follow these guys.
Well, yeah, it's at No Solution _punk on Instagram and YouTube. Yeah, Facebook, I think it's just No Solution.
So that's the hard part, because 30 years ago, hell, even 15 years ago, having Instagram and Insta-Twiddle and Facebook and all of those, like, that had no reflection on your band and your promoting. Now it's hard when you look at a band and you go on there and they don't have a lot of followers, or you have a band that's got 2 million followers. We come from the time, we're all old school, we're from 30s to 50s, and we come from a time where the social media played no part in your promotion. And so these days, looking at how many likes we have and how many followers we have actually plays a part in booking shows and stuff like that. It's like, well, there's bands with a lot more followers. Well, we're just getting restarted with the social media band page again. So that's been a learning curve. So hear this, and, yeah, go out and find us and give us a follow and a like. I mean, we're
on Spotify. We're on
all the matter of fact,
music.
The old EP, the one with Jim Monroe, I think that all goes live on Spotify and everything July 7th, I think. Took a while to get it on there. But.
Yeah, send us messages. We all have time to respond. I mean, we're good at connecting. Anybody that hits us up and says hello or you guys are fucking rad, like, we hit you back, and we'll tell you where our next show is and help you book a ticket.
Bill probably remember in the 90s, you probably remember after the shows, we used to go around with those. In the 90s, you had to go around the list and get a mailing list from everybody's address.
Oh, yeah.
Send it to them. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we paid young guys to go around all the off-ramps in Orange County and tag our stickers. A lot of people knew us from our name, but maybe not heard our music.
Yeah. Some bands don't appreciate the grind that you used to have to put in.
Also selling CDs and tapes out of trunks,
Yeah.
Had to be that weird, creepy guy in the corner, be like, "Hey, man, want to buy a No Solution record?" Tap the trunk. She opens up, be like, "You want a tape or cassette? You want a cassette, or do you want a CD, or do you want both?"
Yeah. That's a true story, man. Like, and that's all out of pocket money. That was money that we needed for rent and for beers and food on the table that we're giving away in double-sided cassette tapes. Here's a single. If you like it, find us at the next show. Because you weren't popping on Spotify or this is pre-Napster. Yeah, there was no internet to just jump on and download a song for $1. The grind was real.
It most definitely was. But I got to say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for actually just taking the time out of your busy evenings and coming on the radio station to talk. It was such an honor speaking with all 5 of you here tonight. And hopefully when the new music comes out, we can make this happen again. Because I know we only touched base on literally maybe about 2%, if that, of your amazing band's career. But I do hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we definitely shall talk again here soon. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for playing us. We listen all the time, and when we're driving around and one of our songs comes on 99.9, man, we're fucking happy to hear it, dude. We're stoked, and hopefully everybody is.
Thank you.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. I say this to all the killer bands. If you send it, we here at 99.9 Punk World Radio FM are definitely going to keep spinning it.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Have yourselves a wonderful night, guys. We definitely shall talk again.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Good night.